It may have escaped your attention. If it has, we apologise. But today is Friday the 13th. Many think it's one of the unluckiest days of the year, and this year actually has two of them, with the second coming up in October. So where does the fear about this particular Friday come from? Dominic Selwood is a historian and he's in our central London studio. Very good evening to you, Dominic. So this notion of Friday the 13th being an unlucky day for many of us, where does this whole idea come about?
Well, we all know that it's a day to be wary of, but we're not quite so clear where it comes from. There are three main theories. The first one is that it's biblical. If you go back to the crucifixion of Jesus, the number 13 comes up a couple of times. Firstly, there were 13 disciples around the table for the Last Supper. And Jesus was then crucified the following day, which was Friday. So you can put together Friday and 13 and you get it from there. Also, some people say that Judas Iscariot was the 13th disciple, although actually they elected the other disciple, Matthias, afterwards. But anyway, you can add it up that way if you like. And then finally, they say the Last Supper took place on the 13th of Nisan, which is a day in the Jewish calendar. So one way or another, you can get Friday the 13th out of the Bible. The other biggest group of beliefs around Friday the 13th go back to the Knights Templar. And, no theory is a good theory unless you have the Knights Templar in it. But they were arrested by King Philip IV of France on the 13th, Friday the 13th of October 1307. And after that, of course, they were then tortured, many of them were burned, and the order was closed down. It was one of the greatest scandals of the medieval world and the first real political trial. And so it was certainly unlucky for them. And then the last one you get is simply that historically in many cultures, and going back much further than those examples, both Friday and 13 have been unlucky in their different ways. And sometime in around probably the 1800s, people put the two together and decided that Friday the 13th itself was going to be inauspicious.
Love a good history lesson. Dominic, I'm interested